Hi, friends, and welcome to the Out of OCD podcast, your source for understanding and managing obsessive-compulsive disorder. This podcast explores the realities of OCD, personal stories, treatment approaches, and tips for breaking free from those often debilitating intrusive thoughts and compulsive behaviors. I'm your host, Dr. Toy Hirschman, not a therapist, but someone who has also lived with severe OCD and co-occurring disorders. Please join me for real stories, pro tips, and a sometimes humorous look at busting through OCD. Let's get started kicking OCD out of our lives for good. Hi, friends, and welcome back to another episode of the Out of OCD podcast. I'm so excited to have you here today. I wanted to talk to you about intentional ERP for OCD. What is that? So exposure and response prevention, or ERP, is the gold standard in treatment for obsessive compulsive disorder. If your therapist, coach, peer support specialist, whoever you're working with, does not know about ERP and has not talked to you about it, that person is probably not going to be able to help you with your OCD. That's my disclaimer. All right. So ERP, exposure and response prevention, is exactly what it sounds like. You're exposed to the thing that triggers your OCD, and then you prevent responding to it. You do nothing. You do not do that compulsion that makes you feel better in the moment, but as we all know, makes it worse. It's hard. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. When you first start doing ERP, it is hard. It feels like your brain is on fire. It feels like every molecule in your body wants to fight back and do the compulsion. It's not easy. And when it was first introduced to me, I was like, no way, there's no way I can do that. But you can. And that's why I'm going to talk to you about intentional ERP. All right. Doing ERP for me with my therapist after some time got easier. And I don't know if that was because of the peer support. I don't know if that was because I was afraid to let her down. I don't know. But it was just easier doing it with my therapist, with a guided person that would help me. Okay. Doing it in between sessions, which is what your therapist or coach will want you to do, was very difficult. My therapist said, in between sessions, you need to intentionally do ERP. And I'm like, no, oh no, no. And I laughed at her. I wrote her an email about this. And I said to her, I don't need to do intentional ERP because my OCD is attacking me every single second of the day. And she explained, yes, that's true, but there's a big difference here because when you're fighting your OCD, when it's attacking you, you're being reactive. When you are doing intentional exposures, you're being proactive. It's like being on offense versus being on defense. So you are in control. You are in the driver's seat when you are doing intentional ERP. You're taking control of OCD on your own terms. And when I understood that made sense to me, but I'm thinking, gosh, there's no way I can go from zero to doing these exposures all the time. But that's not what you have to do. We're talking about 1 minute. 2 minutes, 30 seconds, whatever you need, it can make a difference. And we start there and then we increase gradually over time. You're not going to go from doing no exercise at all to going to a bodybuilding competition. You're going to work up to that. And it's the same way. If you think of your brain like a muscle, it's the same way. We're gonna just tiptoe in and get a little bit better over time. All right. So how do we do this? There's a couple of different ways, all right? You're going to start small, 30 seconds to 2 minutes, if that's what you need. Whatever you think you can handle, you're going to do that. You're going to gradually increase the duration over time, but let's just start super small and celebrate all the little wins, okay? Find a quiet place if you can, if that's you. If you're someone that likes to move around, you can do this while fixing breakfast, up to you. You're going to set a timer, again, however long you think you can handle it. Let's say it's a minute. I'm going to set a timer for a minute. And then you're going to let all those bad zoomies come in. You're going to let if you have a physical trigger, do the physical trigger. If you have a mental trigger, do the mental trigger. Let all those thoughts and feelings come. Like, let them hit you and just disengage. And that's hard to do, I know, but some of the techniques I use to disengage were to think of the thoughts as passing clouds. So I'm laying in a meadow, let's say, in my mind, and the clouds are just rolling on by, and I'm like, ooh, that looked like a scary cloud, but that's okay because it's gone, it's rolling on by. Or, that news feed or whatever that scrolls along the bottom of your TV, and you might go, ooh, you might catch a little bit of it, like, ooh, that's a scary thing, and nope, there it's gone. So anything that just kind of rolls on by, if that helps you, if that sounds corny to you, please don't do that. It was helpful for me. All right, so you're visualizing, these thoughts are just rolling by, you're just dealing with it. You're sitting with this icky feeling, or you're making breakfast with this icky feeling, but you're just having the icky feeling, and you're not doing anything about it. You're just going about your day. You're making breakfast, you're sitting quietly somewhere, but you're just not doing anything about it. Do that as long as you can. That's not going to be easy. And then if you have a timer, see how long it takes before you quote unquote fix it with your compulsion. For me, I absolutely fixed it all the time, but I tried to wait as long as I possibly could to fix it. If you are a person who tracks things, tracking is absolutely recommended here because you will visually see your progress. I was not good at that. So I just kind of mentally said, okay, I did 3 minutes, I waited 5 minutes. I did 4 minutes, I waited 10 minutes, and you just try to see that incremental progress over time. I'm telling you, it works. Celebrate all your progress, even if it's 30 seconds and you only wait 30 seconds before you do the compulsion. Celebrate that. And then the next day, do a minute and then 30 seconds. Try to increase both of those things. The time that you sit with the icky feeling and then the time before you go and do the compulsion to quote unquote fix it. Okay? So, key takeaways. Being proactive, not reactive. Being on the offense with OCD, not the defense. It is a game changer. You're flipping the script on your OCD and it feels darn good, even if you do it for only 30 seconds. I promise. You'll be like, yes. Disengage. That's like one of my favorite words with OCD. Disengage. This is not you. Your thoughts are not you. They're your OCD. It just feels really real to you because you have OCD. Your thoughts really are just like those external clouds floating by. All right? So please try intentional ERP. And if you're still not sure about this, if you're working with a therapist or a coach or a peer support specialist or somebody, please ask them about this. Please share this with them because I think that they would find it helpful if they're not already doing something like this with you. So thank you for listening. I hope you all have a great day. Love and hugs. Bye.